welcome to Good Luck High Five, episode 471.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you are super excited for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty coming up, or maybe you've been jamming these double feature drafts on Arena, we are here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty previews are in full swing. So we're going to talk about all of the mechanics, new and returning, that will be in the set, which shape your experience when you play it.
Wow, Maria, you've got a lot of energy.
How did you like that? How did you like that?
That was all, the delivery of that. I felt like I was on the NFL channel.
Welcome to the NFL channel.
Yes, that's not a thing. It's on other channels.
There's they've got it. The NFL, yeah. Do they have a thing? Do they have a home channel?
No, right?
NFL Network? Is that just a network?
No,
that's not a channel.
Not a thing. It goes on like whatever the sports channels are. Anyways, we're not here to talk about what sports are on what
we
channels.
We obviously know a lot about sports.
Yes, even though we obviously know a lot about it. But like Maria said, we're going to talk about new mechanics. We'll have Magic Storytime about the first episode of the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty story.
And we have our very own preview card to show you too.
Yes, we do.
I'm very excited.
Sprinkled in there with all of that is, of course, our Scryfall random cards of the day.
Yep. And we just want to give you a heads up this weekend on Saturday, the 5th, Loading Ready Run's holding their pre-release.
Ooh, yeah.
So if you want to check that out, it's always a super good time. Get a chance to see people play with the cards before you ever crack any packs, which you can do at your LGS starting on the 11th, because the set released on Arena on the 10th. So we're on the fast track towards Neon Dynasty Town, aka the future, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking about how, if you think about it, every train is a train to the future, because when you arrive at your destination, it is guaranteed to be like
later than when you
started.
Well, what you're saying is everything is the train to the future. Your car is a train to the future.
Your car is a car to the future.
Your feet are a feet to the future.
Wow. Think about that. You are walking into your own future.
Wow, that's profound.
This is an inspirational moment on Good Luck High Five. What's also inspirational to us is everyone who supports the show over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Thank you so very, very much to every single person who is a patron.
Yes.
We have no new patrons this week to announce. Alas. But we do have some really sweet stuff coming up that Patreon makes possible. On February 15th, which is a Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central, we're going to have our next movie watch-along. And this is open to everyone who's a patron.
Yes.
It'll just be over in our normal Patreon Discord. And we're going to, in honor of Valentine's Day, watch the Netflix original rom-com Set It Up, of which I am a very big fan.
Yes, let's go.
So yeah, get ready for that.
Yeah, just become a patron before our watch night, and you're invited to come hang out and watch with us.
Yep.
It's really, really fun, chill time. We did it
excellent
with Die Hard before, and it was so much fun. So come hang out with us on Tuesday the 15th, 8 p.m. Central, and watch a movie along with us. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Don't make me do sad trombone again next week, okay?
No, it was pretty rough.
Please. Okay, thank you. We love you, patrons. We also love Card Kingdom.
Yes, we do. Card Kingdom, just the best place to get anything you need in your magical life. Card Kingdom, they're great.
You can pre-order a box of Neon Dynasty from them right now.
Yeah, you can.
At their website, cardkingdom.com/GLHF. That's our affiliate link to use to buy whatever you need. Buy a box, draft with your friends, get whatever, open some cards. Like, these cards are beautiful.
They're gorgeous.
It'll be fun to open packs.
Yes.
Like, I draft them, okay? But also,
you can open them.
Just open them and
you can get some collector boosties. Card Kingdom. Best place to do it.
Collector boosties in the set? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's really pretty.
Also, very important news.
Yeah.
Opening today. Registration opens today for the very first Good Luck High Five no invitational. which is a little good luck high five tournament that's open to anybody.
Yeah, everyone can play.
That we are running on Sunday, February 27th. It's going to be 6 rounds. It's capped at 64 players. It's just $5 entry. And if you are in the top 8, you will get an invite to the March qualifier weekend on Arena.
Yeah, we're also giving out gem codes and Ultra Pro gift cards to the people who finish 1st through 8th. So
it's going to be a very fun time. And that is, registration for that is open now.
Yeah, you can check it out on MTG Melee. We're also putting a link at the top of our Patreon page. It's pinned there, so you'll find out how to enter. It's going to be so fun, everybody.
It's going to be
brand
fresh
new standard. Yes,
Ooh.
absolutely. And a chance to get into that qualifier weekend without having to battle on the ladder. Get some gem codes to play some drafts or whatever you want to do with
Whatever you want to do.
Ultra Pro gift card.
$5, literally the smallest amount of money we are allowed to charge. There you go. Because we want you to be able to play.
We want people to play. It'll be such a fun time. It is time for the Scryfall randomizer.
Ooh, I'm very excited.
Okay, we've got a cool looking one for you here today, Megan. Tell me what you see with this art.
Ooh, I see a knight dressed all in black with a giant plume on top of their head. That is also, of course, a giant black feather plume.
Yeah.
And they're riding a black horse that has a little bit of red in it, standing on a cliff overlooking a road.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful art.
Yeah,
I
this
really
is quite a pretty card. It looks like it was done in colored pencil or something. I'm not sure. The name of this card is, apologies for my pronunciation here, Aysen Highway. Aysen Highway, spelled A-Y-S-E-N, Highway.
Okay. I looked at this art and I was like, I wonder if this is from original Kamigawa?
I mean,
it feels like maybe it could be. Anyways, wait, the name of it was Aysen Highway?
Yeah.
So it's about the highway and not this gorgeous horse?
This card's all about the highway, baby.
Wow, the highway is not a feature in this art. It is in the background.
I don't know what. There's a highway. It's going
there.
through. Yeah.
I mean, it's there, but it is in the background. The art is about this horse and the person on the horse. But okay, Aysen Highway. I'm gonna say it's going to be a 1 white black. No, do I think it's a land?
I mean, I'm not going to give you any clues.
1 white black for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent taps a mountain for mana, you get to add a black or a white mana to your mana pool.
You're going old school with this.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a good guess. It's a solid guess because it is an enchantment.
Wow. Okay, I got one part of it correct.
It costs, get ready for this, strap yourself in, 3 white, white, white.
Oh, okay.
So quite expensive.
Yeah, I had one of the colors correct.
Yes. What it does is white creatures have planeswalk.
I should have gone even more old school.
You want to know why this card sucks so hard? Guess where it's from? Homelands.
Homelands.
Notoriously the worst set of all time.
Wow, this card is very bad.
Yeah.
This card, also, I just love that the artist
was like, I have to paint a highway? No.
They were like, no. Good. Hard pass.
Hard pass. I'm painting a horse instead.
Here's a gorgeous horse.
Aysen Highway. What on earth is this card? Wow, that was a real stinker that we unearthed from the past right there. You've heard about bad cards in Magic Pass. Well, there you go. There's one for you.
All right, Maria, here's your card. Tell us what you see.
This is spooky.
It is a spooky card.
Okay, we've got a goblin dressed in some pretty intense armor staring at you out of this card with his arms outstretched on top of... Oh, he's coming out of somebody's, it's somebody meditating or they're making a spell of him into existence. He looks like he's arising from a bowl of some sort.
Okay.
Anyway, he's holding a staff with skulls on it, and in the background is a giant flaming face of him. So it's a bigger, even more threatening goblin behind him.
And then, big flame him.
All right, so this card, that's kind of threatening. This is a red card, obviously. Yes. I'm going to say...
Hold on, do you want to know the name?
Yes. Oh, I was going to name it in my head, but tell me.
Name it for us.
Okay, this is called Goblin Dreams.
All right, sure. It's called Skirk Shaman.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But I like yours.
That makes sense based on what I just described. Skirk
Yeah.
Shaman. Okay. Gosh, this card makes goblins, cares about goblins. As a shaman, do shamans care about goblins? Is Goblin Shaman a card type? I'm sure it is. This one says Skirk Shaman. It costs 2 and a red for a 1/3, and its activated ability is pumping your goblins on their power.
Wow. Okay. It is red. It is a Goblin Shaman.
Oh, nice. Wow.
It's converted mana cost.
You mean it's
value.
mana value?
It's mana value. I was like, what am I supposed to say again? Its mana value is 3, but it is 1 red.
Okay.
For a 2/2, Skirk Shaman can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or red creatures.
Oh, well,
So a little bit of like
yeah.
Mountain Walk, kind of?
Wow, Planeswalk
Or not
and
Mountain Walk, but like, what am I thinking of? Intimidate?
Intimidate. Yeah.
Intimidate, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, from Planar Chaos, although you could have potentially seen it in Time Spiral Remastered.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. I like that art a lot.
It is a cool art.
Spooky goblin party.
Spooky.
It's time to talk about Neon Dynasty mechanics.
Wow, and are they ever cool?
I mean,
the type lines are just my favorite.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean like the
on reconfigure. So
Yeah.
the first one that we'll talk about is reconfigure. Reconfigure is it's a new type line. Artifact creature. This one that we have, Simian Sling. Artifact creature equipment monkey.
Yay!
So they are both creatures and equipments.
What?
I know, right?
Yes.
And so you can they are just a creature. This one, for instance, single red for a 1/1.
Oh, okay.
Whenever Simian Sling or equipped creature becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to defending player.
Hey, that's a good card.
Yeah, if it's an equipped creature gets +1/+1, and it has reconfigure 2. 2, attached to target creature you control or unattached from a creature. Reconfigure only as a sorcery. While attached, this isn't a creature.
So this is great because it's super flexible.
Yeah.
It can be a little creature if you need it to be, or you can turn it into an equipment with the reconfigure ability.
Yeah.
Put it on one of your other creatures that couldn't get through before, and now they can get through.
And now it can get through.
Yeah.
Just attach it or
Attach,
unattach it.
unattach.
Attach it, attack, unattach it.
I like this
And
little.
now it's untapped.
This little monkey guy too, because it's like.
He's very cute.
What is he holding in his hands?
I don't know.
Are they just little balls, like little, look at the little ping pong balls?
Yeah.
He's ready to just throw them at the
Throw 'em at
opponent,
people, yeah.
ping them when he becomes blocked. This is really great too because just FYI, if you attach this attack with something, remember your equipment doesn't tap when you attack. So, I mean, sometimes we're all lazy and we just you know, turn the whole stack sideways, but technically rules way is it doesn't tap. So you can unattach after combat, boop, and now you have Simian Sling as a blocker.
Wow, pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is cool.
It gives me vibes of Bestow.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, of like it's attached, but also it can be its own creature.
Yeah.
If it is not attached anymore.
And Bestow, you couldn't just move Bestow.
You couldn't move them around however you wanted.
You had to wait for your creature to die.
This one you can move around and you can reattach after. Like they killed a creature.
Yeah.
Okay, you get your little equipment.
And you can still put it on
And
somebody
now
else.
you can just put it on something else. Yeah.
Or have it just be its 1/1 self.
Yeah.
Wow. I think reconfigure seems really, really cool.
It is a very, very cool mechanic.
Yeah, it's fun too because it helps in multiple stages of the game. It's not just relevant in one position or another, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm here for reconfigure for sure.
Yeah.
And I like the monkey, equipment monkey. I want my own equipment monkey, please.
Everyone loves equipment monkey. I feel like the other one of these that everyone's been talking about, the reconfigure cards, is the reality chip, legendary artifact creature equipment jellyfish.
Yes! Yes!
Great. Perfect. Who doesn't love a legendary artifact creature equipment jellyfish?
Megan, would you wear an equipment jellyfish?
Yeah, of course.
You wouldn't be a little
I hope
scared?
it would. I mean, I would be a little spooked, but
Oh my
whatever.
gosh. Jellyfish are so smart. Do you want to know once I was in an aquarium and I tapped on the jellyfish cage like it was up against the window and I felt immediately terrible because it just attacked where I had just tapped on the cage. It was like, like a spooky, like an Independence Day bump against the window. And I was like, ah! It's like, stop annoying me, you human. Hey. You, I'm only in this cage because I don't have fingers.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
I recently watched Independence Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Great movie, honestly.
Oh, yeah, it's excellent.
It's a classic.
I love it. A+.
Anyways, the reality chip.
Jellyfish memories.
For an 04, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. As long as the reality chip is attached to a creature, you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Reconfigure 2 and a blue.
Release me.
Wow.
Anyway,
Pretty
that's so cool. I like that card a lot. Equipment Jellyfish, get out of here. It's the greatest type line in the history of Magic. Confirmed. We now we need best type line Crippy.
Yeah, we can add that in there.
Up next, new mechanic, Modified.
Yes, we see it here on Aki Emberkeeper. 1 in a red for a 2/1 enchantment creature, Goblin Warrior. Also, enchantment creatures are back.
Yes, welcome
also
back.
Very Theros.
Yeah.
Anyways, whenever a non-token modified creature you control dies, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Equipment, auras you control, and counters are modifications.
Okay, so you have so many different ways to modify your creatures in this set. I know auras are a sub-theme for sure in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty.
Yeah.
Because we see a lot of cards that care about them, which is really cool. And +1/+1 counters count as well as -1/-1 counters. And it just says counters. And Megan and I were talking about this before the show.
Yeah.
But
I think that means all kinds of counters.
Like put a flying counter on this, a death touch counter, whatever.
Yeah.
Modified.
Any kind of counter. It's modified.
You're modified.
Consider yourself modified.
This is a very simple, straightforward new mechanic. But I think it's really cool how there's a potential to play with this in a lot of different ways. For instance, that card's like, oh, did that die? Was it modified? Here you get an extra bonus. And we are probably going to see a whole bunch of different kinds of things you receive in order for playing with modified creatures.
Yeah. For instance, here's another card that has that word on it. Guardians of Oboro, 2 and a blue for a 3/4 creature, Moonfolk Samurai. Defender. Modified creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have Defender.
Yeah, so this one isn't even giving you something extra. It's just something that's true about your modified creatures now. Wow.
Pretty cool.
I like it. Very, very simple.
Yeah.
But impactful.
Yes. Next up, of course, sagas are back.
Yes.
We love sagas. Everyone loves sagas. Sagas are so cool.
They're
and
so
these
great.
ones have a fresh twist.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
I'm so excited. I didn't think they could make sagas even better, but they have.
Yeah.
Somehow they have. We're going to take a look at the Kami War here. This gorgeous saga has the most ridiculous mana cost, so why aren't we going to, why not talk about it? 1 white, blue, black, red, green. 1 Wooburg for the Kami War. As the saga enters and after you draw your draw step, you add a counter. So I always had to put a little reminder on the top of my library when I was playing in person to remember to tick up my sagas. Chapter 1. Exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Oh, okay.
Sure. Nice.
Seems good. Chapter 2. Return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then each opponent discards a card.
Hot. Great.
I'll take that chapter. Chapter 3. Exile the saga, then return it to the battlefield transformed under your control.
Wow.
But Megan, what does it transform into?
In this case, it transforms into Okagachi Made Manifest. Enchantment creature, Dragon Spirit. It's a 6/6. It is all colors, flying, trample. Whenever it attacks, defending player chooses a non-land card in your graveyard. Return that card to your hand. Okagachi Made Manifest gets +X+0 until end of turn, where X is the mana value of that card.
Jeez.
Wow. Okay. I mean, it is Wooburg, but you really get it.
I mean, you've got to work for the Wooburg, but if you do, the payoff is huge.
It's pretty sweet. What a card.
And we heard about Okagachi. Megan talked about Okagachi.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
We got very, very mad.
Yeah.
And went on a little rampage.
Warring all around Kamigawa.
Yeah.
But Made Manifest here in a 6/6. Very, very spooky.
Gorgeous art.
Dragon
very
Spirit.
Cool.
Yeah, and this is how all of the sagas act in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty.
They all turn over.
Which is a cool way to continue the story. So it's kind of like, here's what happened, right? And I think the flavor of that card is it's going on a rampage, right? It's destroying
Yeah.
your permanents, putting stuff back in your opponent's hand. And then it's turning into its creature form, which is it living on today, I assume, or whatever.
Or the lore of it living on
The lore
today.
of it living on. So it's kind of cool because it's like the story doesn't end when the chapter 3 is read.
Yeah. Here's another example of one. The Dragon Kami Reborn is 2 and a green. Chapters 1 and 2 both read, you gain 2 life. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Exile one of them face down with a hatching counter on it, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order.
There's a modification for you.
Oh,
A
yeah.
hatching counter.
3, exile this saga, then return it to the battlefield transformed under your control. Dragon Kami's Egg is the other side. It's an 0/1. Whenever Dragon Kami's Egg or a dragon you control dies, you may cast a creature spell from among cards you own in exile with hatching counters on them without paying its mana cost.
Great.
Very cool.
I love it.
Very, very cool.
These sagas are so beautiful too. They're beautiful. They're cool cards. I have to give it up to the team for pushing sagas to the next level, which I did not think was possible.
Yeah, they're awesome. Next up, Maria.
All right, we've got a returning mechanic here again, ninjutsu.
Very, very cool. Of course, everyone felt like, if you return to Kamigawa, you probably have to return to its most infamous mechanic.
Yes.
One that still has seen play, has come back in some of the different Masters sets.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And occasionally just randomly,
Yeah, and sometimes just kind of out of the blue.
there'll just be one.
Yeah. This one, for instance, is Dokuchi Shadow Walker, 4 black for a 5/5. It has ninjutsu, 3 and a black. Return an unblocked attacker you control to hand. Put this card onto the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking.
It was a ninja the whole time.
It was the whole time.
The whole time it was a ninja.
Yeah. What an iconic mechanic.
Yes.
Very excited to see it again, but also
Terrified.
Yep, just looking forward to being spooked the whole time.
I mean, you're never safe, okay? You're never safe. I mean, that's how I feel in a set with ninjutsu. I'm
It's
just like,
true. You're never safe. Probably block.
Probably
I don't know.
block?
Probably block.
do you remember the rogues deck that would sometimes play the big ninja that would come in and then
Oh, yep.
I was constantly scared, not only because rogues were trying to mill me out or whatever, but because it was going to
That
hit.
thing was going to come out and get you.
Yeah, it's just, it's terrifying.
This is a cool one just because its ninjutsu cost is higher than its regular casting cost. 1,000-Faced Shadow. Single blue for a 1/1 with flying. Its ninjutsu cost is 2 blue. When 1,000-Faced Shadow enters the battlefield from your hand, if it's attacking, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking.
Ooh, that card's good.
That's pretty cool, right?
That's awesome.
It comes in and it's like, oh, make another copy of something else attacking.
Another returning mechanic, our last one on the list for today, Channel is coming back. Channel.
Man, when was the last time Channel was a thing?
I don't even know.
Like when?
Forever ago? Let's take a look at the history of Channel because
it was introduced in Saviors of Kamigawa.
Oh,
there we
okay.
go.
So yeah, that's neat. We're having a little bit of harkening back to the past here with Channel
All
from
right.
Saviors.
Yes. So Channel, for instance, we have it on Greater Tanuki. 4 green for a 6/5 trample. Enchantment creature dog. So cute.
So cute.
Channel, 2 and a green, discard Greater Tanuki, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle.
It's great because it's another way to help with mana issues in the game. So you can either go find a land if you need to, or you can play your raccoon pup and then boom, now you've got a creature.
Channel just means that there is a separate cost that you can pay and discard the card for a separate, pretty different ability.
Right.
For instance, there's Bamboo Grove Archer. This is 1 and a green for a 3/3 defender reach. Pretty sick. It has Channel, 4 and a green, discard Bamboo Grove Archer, destroy target creature with flying.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah, really cool.
It's basically like have an entirely different card.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you want this card
or
this card?
do you want a very different card? A different, but maybe perhaps slightly related card.
Yeah, those two are related.
So yeah, it's very cool. It's important to remember that using channel is not casting a spell.
No.
So it cannot be countered.
No.
It can be countered by something that can counter abilities.
Right.
But it cannot be countered by just something that counters a spell because it's not a spell.
It's not. You're just channeling it. You're just like discarding it.
You're just kind of,
Bye. Oh, now I get this bonus? Oh, whoops.
pretty sick. I mean,
That's how I'm going to think
it's
about
just
channel.
very, very cool.
Now we've reached the point in the show where we're going to talk to you about our preview card.
Yes, which comes with something that we haven't mentioned yet that is also coming back in Neon Dynasty.
Yes.
Which is vehicles.
I'm so excited for vehicles.
And we have literally here, in human person.
In our hands.
In human person, Mobilizer Mech. This is 1 and a blue for a 3/4 artifact vehicle, flying. Whenever Mobilizer Mech becomes crewed, up to one other target vehicle you control becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Crew 3.
For a 3/4. Wow.
Yeah. Pretty 3/4 flying.
Flying.
And can you imagine, what if you have something with a huge crew cost?
Seriously.
You just crew this little thing and then you're like, oh, also my thing with like an absurd crew cost.
Also my Skyship Sovereign. What is that card called?
Sky Sovereign?
Sky Sovereign?
Sky Sovereign Consulate Flagship?
Exactly.
Flagship Consulate?
Sky Sovereign
Consulate Flagship. That sounds right.
It was like a floating planet.
It was a big, very fancy yacht in the sky.
Yes. Sky Yacht.
Sky Yacht.
Or you could crew that new Super Mech card that was just previewed, which is kind of bananas.
Mech Titan Core is the card. It is 2 for a 2/4 artifact vehicle with a crew cost of 2. But it says 5, exile Mech Titan Core and 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles you control. Create Mech Titan, a legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature token with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste that's all colors. When that token leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with Mech Titan Core except Mech Titan Core to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control.
Great. So I'm going to make an entire artifact deck where I'm playing with Mech Titan Core, where I'm playing with Mobilizer Mech.
Yeah.
And I'm crewing stuff that either like Mech Titan Core requires some really cool stuff to give you an excellent payoff, or bigger, vehicles that have enormous crew costs.
Yeah.
And it's just free, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. You just have to crew this, and then the other thing's like, oh, hello, I'm waking up from the garage.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. Jonathan Kuo did the art on this, which also has it has origami cranes, which are drones. Oh, and it also
it's really neat.
Yeah, very, very cool.
And it looks like a mech suit too. So you just put this on and go flying.
I just love that. Yeah, it's doubling the usefulness of your crew creatures. You're just like, oh, I can crew these, and I don't need to tap other things to also crew this other thing. Which is it makes having multiple vehicles more feasible and workable for you.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll find yourself in the position where the problem you would run into with vehicles is that you'd have sweet vehicles, but you wouldn't have enough creatures to crew all of them.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to like pick and choose. This one says you can do it all. Mobilizer Mech says you get crewed, and you get crewed, and I get crewed.
This is a really, really cool card. It's an uncommon. Yeah. I think it'll be a really sweet card to play with, especially in draft.
Ooh, you can use it to crew Surge Hacker Mech.
Sweet.
Which is 4 mana for a 5/5 menace. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to twice the number of vehicles you control to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Crew 4.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Very nice.
I'm a big fan of vehicles and always have been ever since their inception. I'm really excited to see them get some play here in Kamigawa too.
Yeah. Same. All right, Maria, are you ready for some story time?
Yes, I've inserted our preview card into my microphone stand,
I
so
see that.
Everyone can enjoy it.
Keep it close.
Yeah, keep it close to my heart.
Keep your friends close and your previews closer.
Or my mouth. Anyway, what are we talking about today on Storytime?
So we are talking about episode 1 of the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty story, which happens before the Spark origin story of Kato.
Okay.
So this is starting honestly kind of way back in time because Kato is pretty young at the start of this story.
Right.
And we get to see him sneaking into the kitchens, and he has telekinesis and levitating mochi balls and stealing them from the kitchen.
He just has telekinesis?
He just has telekinesis.
Did you ever pretend to have telekinesis as a kid?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
you definitely did.
Of course, but okay, Matilda, I loved it.
Of course, who didn't?
It was so great.
Such a good
formative book for
movie.
me. My sister also loved it, but she went a little farther than me. She's younger than me, and once. She probably had left it open because I didn't go snooping in her diary or whatever. But like, this is what I remember. I don't remember how I found out. But she had written, "I can move things with my mind."
Wow. Maria, for all you know, your sister can't.
I mean, seriously, when you're little and you see that your sister's written that, you're like, wait a second. Can she though?
Maria, maybe she can.
She can. Oh. Anyways,
he has telekinesis.
Just casual telekinesis.
He uses it to steal snacks from the kitchen.
We all would.
Of course we would. It's very funny because there's also a kami that's like specifically the kami of Imperial dishware. Which is very funny and cute.
Great.
So yeah, he like steals these mochi, he goes running out, he creates havoc, he runs across he gets around by climbing things and then running on the roofs because he's like
reminds me of the opening scene of Aladdin.
Yeah, it has a little bit of that vibe. There's like an imperial palace, right? That's where he lives.
Yes.
And we learn that he and his sister have been in training with Lightpaws.
Yep.
Who is like a gorgeous many-tailed cat advisor.
Look at this.
Yes.
Look at this.
I know.
I think Lightpaws is a fox, though.
Oh, maybe a fox.
But
maybe
it does kind of look cat-like.
Yeah.
It does kind of have the face of a cat, but this is the cutest.
No, you're right. It's a fox.
The cutest fox I've ever seen in my whole life.
Has many, many tails.
Lightpaws.
I know. It's very, very cute. Actually, hold on.
Lightpaws.
Okay. Yes, it is a fox.
Yeah, I just remember that because I looked it up when it came out because I thought it was going to be cutest card.
Yeah. So anyways, Lightpaws, a very, very cute, very, very cute, gorgeous, elegant fox, who is an advisor in the Imperial Palace and also has been training Kato and his sister, who we see later on in that Spark origin story also.
Yeah.
And this is the day that she's like, listen, we're not gonna be sparring partners anymore because eventually you have to like choose a path when you're being taught in the Imperial Palace and you have to choose what you're gonna do and like specialize in something essentially.
So they're just learning there, like school.
Exactly. We'll get more into why they're there later.
Oh, okay.
Because we know that their Lightpaws is essentially their guardian.
Okay.
They are kids who live at the Imperial Palace. Anyways, Kato's sister Aiko is like, hey, I didn't tell you, but I chose my path and I'm going to be a kami diplomat, which we know later also.
We talked about that.
And he's like, I don't want to choose anything. Because he doesn't feel quite at home in the Imperial lifestyle.
Sure.
Which we will get into more later also.
Yes.
And so Lightpaws is like, okay, the guy who trains all of the very elite samurai has a new sparring partner for you since you're not gonna be sparring partners with your sister anymore because she's gonna go to kami diplomat school now. And he's like, okay. And before he goes off, we learn in a little flashback that once when he was like running around on the rooftops, he like slipped into this garden and he met someone on the other side of like a paper door, so he couldn't see them. Oh. And this is like his friend, who he later finds out was the emperor. It's like the emperor. He's very good friends with the emperor, but they don't even see each other. They just talk to each other on the other, like, opposite sides of this paper door.
Kids?
Yeah, they're both kids at the beginning of this.
That's cute.
So they're both kids, and they become very good friends. And also you learn that you don't get, like, the emperor isn't allowed to tell anyone her name.
Oh.
No one knows the emperor's name. Kato doesn't even know the emperor's name.
Why?
It's just a thing. So.
All right.
It doesn't say specifically why. No
Okay.
one gets to know the emperor's name. Anyways, and so Kato, like back in the present, Kato goes to sparring practice, and of course he is sparring against the emperor.
Yeah.
And so he spars against the emperor. He thinks that he's going to beat her, but of course he does not.
Yes.
She disarms him, kicks his butt.
Well, emperor, #emperor, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Some time passes. As things kind of keep going normally for them, like they're still friends who meet in the garden and talk on either side of the door.
This is romantic.
And they also are sparring partners. I don't know if it is really clear if it is or isn't.
I'm just saying, if I met somebody whose face I couldn't see behind a screen, wait, I'm describing a show that was on Netflix during the pandemic.
Maria's just volunteering to be a contestant on Love is Blind. We're talking about the Neon Dynasty story, but do you know what?
Oh my God.
Anyways, so like time passes and there's a lot of just different tensions in Kamigawa, right? There's like, because the Jukai forest, as we talked about in the past, like a lot of it got eaten up by the city. The Kami are now very defensive of it. So there's like some strained Kami people relations. There's also strained relations between people and the futurists, which are people who are very tech forward and I think are generally all moon folk, it seems like.
Yeah.
The futurists are the moon folk, very tech forward. And the emperor and the imperial palace, they're all very much about regulating tech and making sure that it's like they have a lot of their language that's like, oh, we're about making sure that it's safe and that like bad people don't build bad tech to do bad things.
Wow, if only they had been here.
But also later on, you learn that there are some people that are like, hey, we don't have access, like because tech is so heavily regulated, that means a lot of people in like the lower social strata and like the lower economic strata don't have access to a lot of stuff that could potentially save their lives. And they're not allowed to build it either because there's such strict regulations around it.
Okay.
So anyways. Kato,
and there's like, there's also people who live in the forest, right? Who are like anti-tech. And they're like, we're just going to be here smoking our pipes.
Those are the monks, yes. I believe that the monks are mostly just like, please stop with the tech.
Just like my dad.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so again, a little bit of time passes because they are like kids at the start of this.
Yeah.
And now they're growing up, they're like teens.
Okay.
And so Kato one day at the Imperial Palace meets a futurist who is there to talk to the Emperor. And the futurist gives Kato like this, a little mech drone, like a little origami crane drone.
Sweet.
Which is very cool.
I want one.
Anyways, and the futurist is like, I'm here because like, I'm here, for diplomatic reasons, but he's like, oh, hey, Kato, you learn that Kato and his sister don't have parents, and that's part of why they're here. And the futurist is like, oh, I don't have parents either. My parents died because there was a toxic spill at the factory that they worked at, and the sensors were so old, so nobody knew about the fumes. Mm-hmm. And so a bunch of people at this factory died in this toxic spill. And if they had access to better equipment, like, it wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And they didn't have access to better equipment because all of the regulations and the cost of upgrading everything just made it prohibitive.
Oh.
Right? They couldn't do it. And then you learn that it turns out that Kato's parents died because they worked in a lab and they were exposed to a bunch of radiation. And they had, like, his dad had this med tech is what they call it, that could have helped them cure them of the radiation. But it turns out that it hadn't been approved yet. It was like black market med tech to cure them of this radiation. And so his dad was arrested and his mom was like, he died. And his mom also died from this radiation poisoning that they could have been cured of.
Wow.
But literally trying to cure themselves of it, they got arrested for it because the tech was black market.
Jeez.
And so then you learn maybe that's why Kato feels a little strained about his relations with the Imperial Palace.
That makes sense. that makes sense.
Maybe there's some lingering tension
Hold up,
there.
didn't he put my dad in jail and then he died because of that?
And then all he was trying to do was get better.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, then they have like a little bit of a debate that they're just like, oh, but shouldn't stuff be regulated so that bad people don't do bad things with it? And the guy's like, yeah, but like, shouldn't people also be able to make what they need so that they can look after themselves and save themselves if like no one else is going to do it? Like the Imperial Palace didn't step in either of these instances and help these people survive. So were they wrong for seeking this tech to like try not to die?
Wow.
So anyways, lots going on Kamigawa.
Seriously. Wow. And now Kato is friends with the Emperor.
Yes, exactly. And so they get into that where Kato sometimes tells the Emperor like, hey, I'm having different feelings about this. And the Emperor, it doesn't quite agree, but doesn't quite disagree. It doesn't really get into how the Emperor feels much about it.
Okay.
But we do know that Lightpaws, it turns out, finds out about this and is like, don't do it. And then there's some really creepy stuff that Lightpaw says because Kato is like, I feel betrayed by the Emperor and the fact that the Emperor told you that I was like talking about these things about, how I wasn't feeling as connected to the Imperials and that like I'm maybe a little bit more of a socialist than the Imperial Palace is.
Yeah.
And Lightpaws is like, this is what did she what does Lightpaws say exactly?
I don't care.
It is our duty to protect the Emperor always. Privacy is an illusion for someone of her status. And you're like, whoa.
Lightpaws can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Maria, what if Lightpaws is surveilling the Emperor against her knowledge in order to quote unquote keep her safe, okay?
I love you, Lightpaws.
/ keep her from radical ideas. Like maybe people should have access to tech.
Wow, Lightpaws, how could you?
Anyways, but Lightpaws is like, Kato, time to grow up and choose a freaking path. And Kato's like, I don't want to be a samurai. Like, I'm not feeling it here in the Imperial Palace. And then he and Lightpaws have like a little, sniping fight at each other.
Great.
Where they're, exactly. So anyways, yeah, Kato just does all of his stuff where he's like, people don't have access to stuff, so they're dying, and like you're basically like you're killing people, like you're responsible for that. There's no balance in that. And Lightpaws is like, permits and regulations keep technology safe. You are using radical words that have no place in the Imperial Palace. She calls them a little radical. And Kato is like, what you mean is I have no place here. And that's when they're in their big fight. And then that night is when all of a sudden alarm bells ring in the palace, like all across the palace.
I wonder if that was made with tech. Palace.
Anyways, and then Kato like gets up and of course everyone is like running around and he gets on the roofs and goes looking for the Emperor. And of course the Emperor isn't there. And Kyodai is in like their separate chamber and then is like instead of like feeling okay, is like writhing around.
And Kyodai is the kami that is attached to the Emperor. They have a kind of a bond.
Yeah, exactly. Kyodai channels herself through the Emperor.
Okay.
So anyways, yeah. So Kyodai has this big room, and he usually kind of is like up in the air, kind of like suspended in the air, but she's down on the ground, like writhing around, and then there is a man with a metal arm.
The man with the metal arm.
And Kato chases this man with the metal arm as he like runs out and runs up onto the rooftops also. And Kato is like trying to catch him. And then the guy turns around and it turns out that Tezzy can manipulate metal from afar because he uses Kato has like that metal drone on his attached to his wrist.
Yeah.
And he like manipulates it to like throw Kato off the roof. He like, because it's attached to his arm.
Sure.
So he like tosses him on the ground.
So the man with the metal arm, everybody, is Tezzeret, obviously.
I mean, we assume, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, man with the metal arm, Tezzeret, I assume. Anyways, and so he's like that's how he loses him. He gets thrown from the roof. Can't find him. Anyways, and then he goes back to Kyodai's big room and everyone is there, like all of the advisors are there and Lightpaws is there. And Kato is like, I saw this man with a metal arm. And they're like, the Emperor is gone. He must have kidnapped the Emperor, this man with the metal arm. And Kato is like, good. And then Lightpaws is like, it must be the futurists and unregulated prosthetics. And they use these unregulated prosthetics to kidnap the Emperor. And Kato is like, no, you're not listening to me. It definitely wasn't a futurist. It was this creepy man with purple eyes and a giant metal arm. And Lightpaws is like, shut it. I own
stock in companies that specifically don't do future tech.
Exactly. Lightpaws is specifically like, I am apparently looking for a reason to go to war with the futurists here. So please stop talking. It's definitely the futurists. So anyways, that's why Kato is like, fine, I don't belong here. You're not listening to me. I'm leaving the Imperial Palace and I will search all of Kamigawa
for the Emperor.
For the man with the metal arm who stole the Emperor.
Wow.
And that's when we learn later on he gets a spark.
Yeah.
In the next chapter when he is, doing a bunch of work.
Yeah. Holy cow. That's one heck of a story.
So that's chapter 1.
I'm so excited.
Only chapter 1. I will say, just face value, enjoying this a lot more than the last set of Innistrad's story.
Yeah, this was really good.
It's action packed, but it's also very, I think that the characters are really well done. I like all of the characters and feel like I know them, and there's a lot of intrigue.
Yes.
So super excited to bring y'all more.
Yeah, I'm excited too. This has been a cool story time so far, and we know so much about Kamigawa since we've been in the backstory now, and now here we are in the present/future. I want to find out what happens with Kato. Does he find the Emperor, or does Tezzy make a metal cage and put it around her?
I don't know. We'll find out, Maria. We'll find out.
Hey, everybody. It's time to say thank you to one of our sponsors, Ultra Pro.
Yes. Ultra Pro has their color of the month for February is all of the kinds of pink. There's like hot pink. There's just pink. Pink. So if you are looking to celebrate Valentine's Day with a suite of very cool, very magic-specific pink gifts to be on theme, Ultra Pro's your place to go.
Yeah, you can get
Ultra Pro. I think is what I said.
You know what's apropos about Ultra Pro? All this pink stuff. You can get a pink playmat, deck box, sleeves, and like you said, various shades of pink too, which is pretty cool. And I love that. Can I just say this? I don't know how many years ago when we started playing Magic, I don't think you could get pink stuff.
No, I don't think
you know what I'm saying?
You could there were so many ugly Magic sleeves back in the day. I haven't thought about this in forever, but it's true.
Yeah.
You would be in your LGS and you would look at the wall of sleeves and you'd be like, 2 of these are acceptable.
Yeah. But now, thanks to Ultra Pro,
you
can get anything you want and feel like more included in your game because they're not just making sleeves that are just these sleeves are just black.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or these sleeves are offensive or whatever.
Yeah.
But this really cool pink suite of products from Ultra Pro. We're so happy to have them as a sponsor. We're going to release a really cool new video we made for Ultra Pro coming up next week.
It's great. We liked it. We like it a lot. And we really appreciate Ultra Pro being a sponsor who is like, hey, we want to give you the space to make some very weird videos. So some very fun videos.
Next week, get ready for the debut of that video.
It's going to be great.
I'm very excited for all of you.
Yeah, I'm very jazzed.
Well, everybody, that's this episode of Good Luck High Five.
All right.
Welcome to the world of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty.
So cool.
Very, very excited for this set. I like the new mechanics. I like the returning mechanics. Mm-hmm. I like the vehicles, including our beautiful preview mobilizer mech here. I get to hold them in my hand for the first time when we've ever previewed a card, which is really neat. This set is shaping up to be super awesome. Yeah. It looks, by the way, early days, but it looks excellent for draft too.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that more.
I'm really excited to hit a new draft environment.
Yeah, me too. We've got Judge Rob coming up on the show.
Yeah, of course we do.
Your pre-release and the release on Arena to give you all of the information you need to know to be ready to play battle.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked for what's coming up here in the future.
Same.
And I just texted Lightpaws, so we'll see if I hear back.
Maria, Light Pause is kind of shady.
All I need to do is look at her.